Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama,
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन जमुना तीरा वनचारी जमुना तीरा वनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन यमुना तीरा वनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव जय राधा माधव राधा माधव जय राधा माधव जय गौरनिताय जय गौरनिताय गौरनिताय जय गौरनिताय जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 नित्य गौर हरिबोल 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 जय विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शतशत श्रीमद् अभय चरणारविंद भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी श्रील प्रभुपाद की ISKCON BBD founder Acharya Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada की जय विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शतशत श्रीमद् भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी ठाकुर श्रील प्रभुपाद की अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की श्री जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रा महारानी की श्री श्री गौर निताय की, श्री लक्ष्मी नरसिंह भगवान की, ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की, समवेत गौर भक्तवृंद की, निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे। All glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories, all glories, all glories to Sri Guru and Gauranga, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Om Jnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Sa Padantikam Vandeham Shri Gura Shri Jata Padakamalam Shri Gurung Vaishnavangscha Shri Rupang Sagrajatang Sahagana Raghunatha Nitang Tang Sajivam Sadaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanitangscha Namong Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschat Deshatarine Vanchakalpatarubhasya Sindhubha च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो महावदनाय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नाम्ने गौरतिष्ठे नमः। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी विश्वभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये। नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तम श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नष्टकी। So continuing our discussion from 6th canto, 2nd chapter. Chapter is entitled Ajamila, delivered by the Vishnu Dutas. Text number 39. Iti jato sunirvedah sana sangena sadhusu gangadaram upayaya mukta sarva anubandhanaha. Iti jato sunirvedah sana sangena sadhusu gangadaram upayaya mukta sarva anubandhana. Iti jata sunirveda sana sangena sadhusu gangadaram upayaya मुक्त सर्व अनुबंधनः Mataji. इति दास जातो सुनिवेदः Ajamila, who had become detached from the material conception of life. Shanasangena, by moment's association. Sadhusu, with devotees. Gangadaram, to Haridwar, the doorway to Hari. Because the Ganges begins there, Haridwar is also called Gangadara. Upeaya, went. Mukta, being freed from. Sarva Anubandhanaha, all kinds of material bondage. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Sri Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Because of a moment's association with devotees, the Vishnudutas, Ajamila detached himself from the material conception of life with determination. Thus, freed from all material attraction, he immediately started for Haridwar. Purport. The word Mukta Sarva Anubandhanaha indicates that after this incident, Ajamila, not caring for his wife and children, went straight to Haridwar for further advancement in his spiritual life. Our Krishna consciousness movement now has centers in Vrindavan and Navadvip, so that those who want to live a retired life, whether they be devotees or not, can go there and with determination give up the bodily concept of life. One is welcome to live in those holy places for the rest of his life in order to achieve the highest success by the very simple method of chanting the holy name of the Lord and taking prasad. Thus, one may return home back to Godhead. We do not have a center in Haridwar, but Vrindavan and Siddham Mayapur are better for devotees than any other places. The Chaitanya Chandrodaya temple offers one a good opportunity to associate with devotees. Let us all take advantage of this opportunity. Mukham karati vachalam punghul langhaite giring jat kripatamaham bande Sri Gurung Dinatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Sri Chaitanya Ishwaram. Hare Krishna. So today is the 5th day of our discussion on the story of Ajamila. And today we chanted the verse which talks about Ajamila's journey to Haridwar. And after a few verses, his journey to the spiritual world. So how the whole episode started, we discussed also. that Ajamila was a nice Brahmana. He was trained in Brahminical culture, knowing Shastra, doing puja, doing his duties properly. Very nice Krishna conscious life he was leading. But somehow, because of a moment improper association, he became distracted. And all of us also heard how he married that prostitute and he begot how many children? 10. And at the age of 88, he was about to leave his body. And that time, he had a small child, son, and his name was Narayan. Because Ajamila was very attached to his son, at the time of death, he was remembering his son. So what object we can remember at the time of death? The object of our attachment. So Krishna consciousness means cultivating our attachment for Krishna. Then we can remember Krishna at the time of death. Ante Narayana Smritihi. That also we discussed in detail, whether chanting is remembrance or not, or remembering is a remembrance or not. We discussed the technical aspects. But Krishna consciousness means conscious about Krishna. And what is the symptom of consciousness? We think of Krishna. That's why Rupa Goswami has explained the essence of all rules and regulations is always remember Krishna, never forget Krishna. How we can remember Krishna? By chanting, by hearing, by remembering. In that way, we can remain Krishna conscious. And at the time of death, if we can remember Krishna, then Krishna is telling he'll go back home, back to Godhead. So who can remember Krishna all the time? Who can do that? Practicing devotee cannot remember Krishna all the time. That's why he's practicing. Sadhaka cannot remember Krishna all the time. Only siddhas. We can remember for some time, and can forget, remember, forget. Less advanced sadhaka, very difficult to remember. And those who are siddhas, very difficult for them to forget. That happened to the gopis. Gopis were telling why we cannot forget Krishna. Because remembering Krishna giving them was giving them a lot of trouble. So they wanted to forget Krishna. Just forget about him. But not possible for them. For a moment also they could not forget. So that is the journey. Perfection means remembering Krishna all the time. That is Vrindavan. That is Vaikuntha planet. They always remember the Lord. So Ajamila, although he did not remember the Lord, but he remembered his son, and the son's name was Narayan. That's why he indirectly remembered the Lord. And what happened? Vishnudutas came. And whole conversation took place between Vishnudutas and Jamadutas. 3 Jamadutas versus 4 Vishnudutas. Nice interaction. Then Vishnudutas started explaining. Jamadutas were explaining why they should snatch the soul from the body of Ajamila and take that soul to the court of Jamraj. And they're explaining that he was sinful. He committed all kinds of sins. So his destination is Jamaloka, not Vaikuntha Loka. Then Vishnu Dutas preached to them. So preaching happens. Devotees are expert in preaching. So here Vishnu Dutas are preaching to the Jamadutas. Explained how he cannot be taken to the court of Jamaraj. Vishnu Dutas explained very nicely, but Jamaduta's logic was very good also. Jamaduta said that he committed sinful activity, but to counteract that sinful activity, he did not go through any atonement. So atonement must be there in order to counteract the sinful activity. So he did not do that atonement. But Vishnudutta said, you don't know. He chanted the name of Narayan. That is the highest atonement. And by chanting the holy name of the Lord, he is free from all the reactions of his sinful activities. And our acharyas are explaining not only past, present and future. No reaction. Because he chanted the holy name at the level of Namabhas. So preaching continued, and Jamadutas were convinced, but they are not so happy. So they left the place, and Ajamila was freed from the clutches of Jamadutas. And Jamaduta immediately went to their reporting authority and reported the whole incident. Reporting is also there everywhere. Okay, reporting is very important. If you do some service, then reporting has to be there. Without reporting, service is incomplete. Even Nityananda Prabhu and Haridas Thakur used to report regularly to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu about their preaching activities. Sometimes we do like to preach but don't like to report. We like to report to the Lord directly. Because accepting someone as reporting authority is very difficult, especially in this age of Kali. Acceptance of authority. We want to be the authority, but we don't accept authority. Who can be a leader? Who is a follower? Who follows, he can lead. That is the principle. But somehow we don't like to follow, but we like to lead. We don't want to be under the control of anyone, but we expect everyone should be under our control. Forgetting that nobody is under anyone's control. That is the biggest illusion. Even Krishna does not want to control anyone. And he cannot also. So Krishna is a supreme controller, still we are in this material world. That shows that Krishna could not control us. Right or wrong? So we should not try to control. More we try to control, more will become frustrated. Hare Krishna. It works, huh? Good. More we like to control, more will become frustrated. Vishnudutas preached to the Jamadutas. And Jamadutas left the place, but they reported the whole incident to Jamaraj. Then Ajamila came into senses because he was relieved from death. Second chance. A book is written also, second chance. Actually, you are given so many chances. Since time immemorial, we are given chances. But here, in this body, he got the second chance. And he started lamenting his misdeeds. That is the power of Sadhu Sangha. he could realize that what a abominable life he was going through. He said, I begot child in the womb of a prostitute. How I ill-treated my parents. How I was involved in so many sinful activities. So that is the symptom of devotee. Bhaktivinoda Thakur always thinks that he is a very sinful man. And he says, Amar Jivan Sada Paperato Nahiko Punneroles. Bhaktivinoda Thakur is singing that my life is full of sinful activity. Not a trace of punya is there in my life. But after practicing for some years, we started thinking that we are very wonderful devotees. Not a sin, not a single sin I commit. I was there in a place. One devotee said, most of the time I always I remember Krishna. He said, very good news. Sometimes I forget. Prabhupada used to say, sometimes we remember. But advanced devotee, sometimes they forget. I said, yeah, you're very advanced, but we don't understand what is the meaning of remembering. Some people say, how we can be envious of Krishna? How it is possible? We love Krishna. If you love Krishna, then why are you in this world? We are in this world means we are envious of Krishna. And as long as we have a tendency to enjoy this material nature, that is a proof that we are envious of Krishna. Separate enjoyment is a symptom of envy. So if we are free from envy, then we will not enjoy separately from Krishna. We will completely dedicate ourselves for the service of the Supreme Personality of God. That is a symptom of freedom from envy. So Ajamila got the second chance, and because of that, he was really appreciating the service rendered by the Vishnu Dutas. We should be very, very grateful. Who has helped us, we should not forget their help. But our tendency is that we always remember the bad things and forget the good things. Right or wrong? And that is the symptom that we cannot remember Krishna. Who can remember Krishna? Who remembers the good things and forget the very appreciative Ajamila. He was very grateful to the Vishnu Dutas. So grateful heart is a symptom of bhakti. We should be grateful. Otherwise, we become grateful. So gratefulness is very, very important. Gratitude is the best attitude. An attitude determines the progress. There is a nice proverb that it's the attitude, not the aptitude, that determines the altitude of our devotional progress. Attitude matters. So Ajamila developed very favorable Krishna conscious attitude. Why? Because he got the association of Vishnu Dutas. So in this verse, what we chanted today, it is explained because of a moment association with devotees, Ajamila detached himself from material conception of life. So we discussed how to become detached. Very clearly explained in this verse. How Ajamila developed detachment? By the association of Vishnu Dutas. Those who are detached, If we associate with them, we also develop detachment. Very simple. So detachment is very, very important. Detachment is also the requirement to cultivate Krishna consciousness in a very effective way. It is said, Mahaprabhur Bhaktaganer Vairagya Pradhan. Taha dekhi pritahan Gaura Bhagavan. The symptom of Gaudiya Vaishnavas is they are very renounced. Then you may say most of the devotees are grihasthas. How it is said like that? Devotees of Mahaprabhu are renounced. So renunciation is nothing external. Renunciation is internal consciousness. Srila Prabhupada says Mother Jasoda was perfect sannyasi. Why? Because she was engaged with body, mind, and words 100% in the service of the Lord. So, who is engaged 100% in the service of the Lord with his or her body, mind, and words, he or she is a person in renounced order of life. That is a principle. So, detachment comes from detachment. Sadhu Sangha. If we hear from the sadhus, then the knot of attachment is a very complicated knot, very difficult to open. When knot is very complicated, if you try to open it, then how it will happen? It will become more complicated. So material attachment is like that. So best way to get rid of this knot is just cut it. How to cut? Sadhu Sangha. And Sadhu Sangha means hearing from the sadhus. Macchitta madgata prana badhayanta parasparam kathayantascha mang nityang tushyanti cha ramanti cha. Krishna is declaring with lot of pride what my devotees do. He says, my devotees gathered together and they discuss about me and they derive unlimited pleasure from that discussion. Sometimes there is question in our mind that how to experience the bliss of Krishna consciousness. So Krishna has explained very clearly how to experience that. Macchitta madgata prana bodhayanta parasparam kathayantascha mang nityang tushyanti cha ramanti cha. Experiencing bliss, condensed bliss. And that's Vaikuntha planet. That's Vrindavan. Vrindavan means where glorification of Krishna happens 24 hours a day. That is Vrindavan. That's why Bhaktivinoda Thakur has said, Jedino grihe bhajana dekhi, grihete goloko bhai. He says that I don't see my house. What I see? That I see my house as Golok Vrindavan. Why it is Golok Vrindavan? Because Krishna is the center of that house. What is the meaning that Krishna is the center? Some people think it's a geographical aspect. So they keep Krishna in the center of the house. And by that, they think Krishna is the center of all life. It's not a geographical thing. It is the consciousness. When a child is born, child becomes the center of the family. Means what? He stays in the center. He is all pervading in the house. But he or she becomes the center of the family, means our attention is always towards that child. Whether you want or don't want, that becomes. In the same way, when that position is given to Krishna, then that is the symptom of Krishna conscious family life. That is the meaning of Krishna is the center of our family. So that is Krishna consciousness. So coming to the point of detachment, how hearing makes us detached. But we have to hear from person who is detached. Otherwise, it will not have that kind of impact. So it is said that the realized soul speaks from the heart, not from the intellect or mind or something like that. And when he speaks, that sound vibration carries the aroma of the dust of the lotus feet of Krishna. Why? Because in the heart of a pure devotee, Krishna resides. Not only resides, he takes rest. You may say, Krishna is there in everyone's heart. What's the big deal? Yeah, it's a big deal. Because Krishna is there in everyone's heart as Paramatma. But for a pure devotee, Krishna is there as Govinda, Samsundar. That is the difference. So when that pure devotee talks, he talks from the heart, and that sound vibration carries the aroma of the dust of the lotus feet of Krishna. That's why that sound vibration becomes very potent. Very potent. And what is the result of that sound vibration? If someone hears attentively, then Krishna is transferred from the heart of the pure devotee who is speaking to the heart of that attentive listener. And Prabhupada explains that is the real meaning of Diksha. In 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, it is explained that Krishna first appeared in the heart of Vasudeva. Then Krishna was transferred from the heart of Vasudeva to the heart of Devaki. In that context, Prabhupada writes that when Krishna is transferred from the heart of the Guru to the heart of the disciple, that is the real meaning of initiation. So in that way, heart is changed. Spiritual life means changing the heart. Changing external is ritual. That is also important, but that is not the goal of our life. The goal of our life is to change the heart, because by only changing our heart, we can transform ourselves, and through the transformation, we can be transported to the spiritual world. So transformation should take place within. That's why sound vibration should go within. And that is sadhu sangha. We have to capture the sound in our heart. That is called hearing. It's not that I come and sit down, that is hearing. That is hearing, but real hearing is when we capture the sound vibration in our heart. That is real hearing process. And through that, what happens? Our knot of attachment is cut. Simple way. And Narad Muni is giving the example by hearing, before hearing also, just honoring the remnants of Mahaprasad from the plate of the Bhakti Vedantas, Narad Muni developed detachment. That is the potential of the pure devotees. And Prahlad Maharaj also recommends the same thing. We should bathe our body with the dust of the lotus feet of Mahabhagavats. Then there is a hope, there is a chance to experience Krishna consciousness. It's a very powerful statement. It's a powerful process. Chaitanya Bhagavat also explains, Bhakta Padaraj, Bhakta Padajal, Bhaktir Uchchista, Tin Sadhanar Bhav. The most potent form of devotional service is the dust of the lotus feet of the pure devotee, the water, Charanamrita from the lotus feet of the pure devotee, and the remnants from the plate of the pure devotee are the most potent forms of sadhana bhakti. So, the real glory in our life is that when we are in touch with a pure devotee like that. So, Dhruva Maharaj got that opportunity immediately. On the way to Vrindavan, her mother told that go to the forest, because I heard the saintly persons go to the forest in search of God. Because Dhruva Maharaj very simply asked that where I can see God. He said, I heard the saintly people go to the forest. So immediately Dhruva Maharaj left the palace. Detachment was immediate. One hearing from his mother, he was completely detached. Then on the way, Narad Muni was there. So some people ask how it is possible. Maybe Suniti has sent the WhatsApp message to Narad Muni that my 5-year-old boy is going, please take care of him. It's a transcendental transmission. Because Paramatma is there in the heart of Dhruva Maharaj. Paramatma is also there in the heart of Narad Muni. So when we become very, very sincere in our heart that I want to achieve perfection in my spiritual life, when that sincerity is there, who witnesses that sincerity? Paramatma. Paramatma is there just next to us, right? Two Atmas in the heart, Jivatma and Paramatma. So when a Jivatma develops that sincerity, then immediately that is transmitted to Paramatma. Paramatma knows that. And Paramatma start acting like his guru. That's why Paramatma is the Adi Guru. He is the main Shiksha Guru. Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami explains two Shiksha Gurus. Bhakta Shrestha Antarjami. Who can become Shiksha Guru? Who is Bhakta Shrestha, topmost devotee. Sometimes we take Shiksha Gurus very cheaply. Shiksha Guru, who can become Shiksha Guru? Who is qualified to take one to the spiritual world. He can become Shiksha Guru. Bhakta Shrestha. And Antaryami means Paramatma. And Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami explained Diksha Guru, Shiksha Guru at the same level. That's why we chant. He also starts Chaitanya Charitamrita Bande Gurun. Guru means plural. Bhagavatam explains 24 Gurus. So in that way, you have to understand that multiple aspect of Guru has to be understood. But Diksha Guru should be only one. That is etiquette. But Shiksha Guru can be many. But the main Shiksha Guru is Chaitanya Guru, Paramatma. And Paramatma inspired Narad Muni, go and help Dhruva Maharaj. So when we are sincere in our endeavor, then we become fortunate. Brahmanda Bhamite kono bhagyavan jeev, Guru Krishna Prasade pai, Bhakti Lata Bij. Bhagyavan means those who are very fortunate. So when that fortune arises in our life, association of devotees. Real fortune in our life arises when we get in touch with a pure devotee. That is the real fortune in our life. And who is the most unfortunate? Even after getting this human form of body, could not meet a pure devotee. That is the most unfortunate situation in one's life. So Jamila became very, very fortunate. And because he chanted the holy name of the Lord, so that's why it is said, by the mercy of the Lord we get Guru, And by the mercy of Guru, we get Krishna. So here, by the mercy of the holy name, Vishnudutas came. And because of Vishnuduta's association, now our Ajamila started chanting the holy name. Previously, he was not chanting the holy name. It was indirect chanting. But now, what he did, he became completely detached. He immediately left home. And Prabhupada is always very eager to help the devotees of Krishna consciousness movement. So he always translates the practical aspect of the lessons of Bhagavatam. He said, now we have open centers in Vrindavan and Mayapur. Prabhupada was talking in 70s. And he said, we don't have any center in Haridwar. But Mayapur and Vrindavan are more important for the devotees. And if someone wants to retire, they should retire in those places. Prabhupada is writing in the purport. Sometimes people say, why? Someone asking me that so many obligations, so many complications in Grihastha life, we are having so many responsibilities, so many ambitions, this and that. How to get perfection? I said, there's a process that you can continue your Grihastha order of life, as Prabhupada mentioned in the purport, in this section also, that at the age of 50, they should wind up. As soon as I said that, he kept quiet. Because people don't like to wind up. They want to wind up at the time of death only. Forced winding up. But that's not the way we should wind up. We should wind up before we are forced to wind up. Preparation for winding up. So he could prepare because he detached himself from the conditioned material life. So some may say, what is the need to have Vanaprastha? Is there any need? Definitely there is a need. Why? Because we need to have focus and attention. When we have material duties, it's very difficult to have focus and attention. But we can be Krishna conscious in Grihastha order of life. That is also there. But ultimately, we have to focus fully in Krishna conscious service. And that is applicable for everyone who aspires to get perfection in the spiritual journey. Sannyas is not needed so much in Kali Yuga, but at least full concentrated devotional service, that is very much needed in order to perfect our journey. So here Ajamila was completely focused. And he did not want to take any chance because he knew again it can happen, just like what happened to Jaravarat. He said, no more deer. Even the human deer we don't want. So he was very, very clear that deer was the cause of my problem. So I don't want to take any chance and I want to act like a madman so that nobody will be interested. So he was very, very careful. So by this Jaravarat's example, we can understand how dangerous material nature is. A simple deer in the forest became the cause of Bharat Maharaj fall down. He was at the level of Bhava Bhakti. He was not a sadhaka. He has almost perfected his spiritual journey. But from that position, he fell down. So our acharyas are explaining in two different ways. What was the cause of his fall down? First is, it was the desire of the Lord. So Bharat Maharaj fall down is not an ordinary fall down, like sadhakas. When Krishna wants to teach, he wants to teach through his own devotees. That is one explanation. But one acharya is explaining from the sadhaka point of view, why Bharat Maharaj fell down? Because he committed Vaishnava Parad in past life. And because of that, he had to fall down. Such is the power of Vaishnava Parad. So therefore, we have to be very, very careful in our journey. When it will manifest, you never know. So you have to be very, very careful. So our heart has to be clear from the tendency to commit offenses. So here, Jamila fully focused himself, chanting the holy name of the Lord. And when he was completely absorbed in Krishna consciousness, then he saw Vishnu Dutas again are coming. So this time for other purpose. So last time why Vishnu Dutas came? To protect him from Jamadutas, to give him the chance to practice sadhana bhakti. Now Vishnu Dutas came to take him to the spiritual world, directly to the Vaikuntha Loka. It's a very wonderful flight, is explained in Srimad Bhagavatam. We like to have journey in the flights, right? But here, no ticket, no visa, nothing is needed because he has attained perfection in his life. So Vishnu Dutas came with that carrier and he sat down on that carrier and went directly to the Vaikuntha planet, entered into the spiritual world. And that is the journey of Ajamila. So this pastime is very, very significant in our life. Why? Because it is related to the holy name. And why it is very, very important for us? Because material distractions were the cause of fall down of Ajamila. And that is very, very common for practicing devotees in this age of Kali. So you should learn from all this and try to be careful not to be in the association which is unfavorable for devotional service, and always should be in the association which is favorable for Krishna consciousness. Then we don't have to take the second chance. In this chance only, we can go back home, back to Godhead. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. Srila Prabhupada. I will not be able to give class. Day after tomorrow, I will give Sunday Bhagavatam class, but that will be different topic. Question?
Hare Krishna Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisance at lotus feet. Thank you for wonderful nectar of the holy name. Just you mentioned about Acharya explained about Bharat Maharaj's second reason that he's committed was Vaishnava Aparadh, the past life. Any when, where?
That is not explained. Whatever has been explained, I told. I don't have further details.
Thank you, Maharaj.
Any other?
Thank you, Maharaj. Same thing. I just wanted to know, just to quote future, where exactly it is written about the offenses, so that we can quote that.
It's not there in Prabhupada's books. It's given
Acharya.
commentary is given by Jiva Goswami.
Yes. And four Kumaras, Prabhupada writes in the section purport that because they committed offense to Jay and Vijay, they got Shantras. Even Shivram Maharaj also quotes that in his Shuddha Bhakti Chintamani. So just wanted to know that what is their original rasa, and is it because of their offense that they are getting in Shantrasa? Because we see in the five rasas, Shantrasa is not considered to be in pure devotion.
But who said that?
In Chaitanya Charitamrita.
But it's pure devotion, but it's not
active.
It's not. There is no active reciprocation.
Yeah. So
Shantaras is pure.
So it's not as good as the other four in one
No.
sense.
No, each rasa is unique by their own feature. But if you
Feature.
analyze neutrally, Santa rasa at the 5th level, 4th level is Dasya,
Uh,
3rd level is Sakhya, 2nd is Vatsalya, and top is
Madhuri.
Madhuri.
So, what is this a correct understanding that four Kumaras did offense to Jai Vijay and that is why they got Shantaras?
Yes, if it is explained by our Acharya, mainly founder Acharya, definitely it is a reason.
The reason. So, is Prahlad Maharaj also in Shantaras?
In this, as a sadhaka is in Santaras,
Okay,
always remembering.
not in the spiritual world.
Yes.
Okay, because we consider him as a role model in pure devotion and Bhakta Shiromani. So I was just thinking how he can be in Shantaras. He could be in the higher rasas, probably. That's what I was trying to
Yeah.
understand.
You can learn different things from different devotees. But our perfect example is the gopis of Vrindavan. That's Mahaprabhu's teaching.
Mahaprabhu's
Brahma kachit upasana brajabodhu vargana jakal. The topmost worship is the worship by the gopis in Vrindavan. That is the teaching given by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
Oh, yes. Because he in Bhagavatam heard from Gadadhar Pandit, Prahlad Maharaj and Dhruv Maharaj continuously. So
Certain things you can learn from them.
yeah,
But our perfection
so
is
Gopi. Yes.
that.
And one last question, Maharaj. As we see that that Rupa Goswami's meditation broke because of unknowingly, ununderstandingly offending a Brahmana. So this is also one thing which can happen with us. We are not intending, but some other Vaishnavas may
Yeah,
take
first
offense.
start with knowing.
Knowing.
Stop that, and then unknowingly will also stop.
Yeah, because then it becomes very difficult to
Yeah,
do
first
management.
deal what you have. Unknowingly, to millions are happening. Knowingly first address with the offenses with knowledge.
Yeah.
First deal with that. And if you are not doing offenses knowingly, then come to the level of unknowingly. I don't know what level you are in. That's the process.
Thank you.
Very good.
Hare.
Any other comment or question? This side, no question.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. So now you mentioned about the detachment. So basically the detachment in the sense that we devote our less time for materialistic activities, and of course sense gratification has to be minimized as much as possible, and then attach more towards the spiritual activities. So spend more time. So with this, I think you can come to this platform of this detachment, virakti. Basically, actually, virakti is also the first symptom for this to come to the bhava bhakti. That I wanted to clarify, Maharaj.
So what's your question?
Other question is that that you have to come out of these materialistic tendencies as much as possible, minimize, and extend your time and devotion activities in the spiritual realm.
Both should go on simultaneously, Abhyas and Vairagya. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, how to control the mind through practice and detachment. So practice means engaging the senses in the service of the Lord, and detachment means withdrawing the senses from sense objects. But we think, no endeavor for withdrawing. If I chant, automatically it will happen. Nothing is automatic.
Yeah.
We have to put conscious endeavor.
Yes.
That's why no sinful activity, 4 regulative principles, along with the chanting,
Correct.
4 regulative principles. Why? Because it's connected.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Thanks, Maharaj.
Okay then.
One more, Maharaj.
One more.
As far as I mean, we discussed yesterday in the last few days also that aparadha and anarthas. So aparadhas are, I think, more gross in the sense, more resultant and
Not gross, more dangerous.
dangerous. Yeah, anarthas could be there.
Anarthas are connected with the material objects.
Okay.
Anarthas are sins connected with the Lord.
Okay.
When things get connected with the Lord, that becomes offense. Just like Seva Aparad.
Yeah.
When we serve the deities.
Right.
Nama Aparad.
Yes.
So these are the different offenses connected with the Lord.
relation with the Lord, whereas anarthas some inherent, and then that also needs to. So both needs to be controlled.
Anarthas are very easy
Right.
to overcome.
Very well.
Aparad, very difficult to overcome.
Hare Krishna.
So anarthas are like dust on the stone, and aparad is like the mark on the stone. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Any online question?
Hare Krishna Maharaj. So in case of Ajamila, we see that even though he did very sinful activities, by moments of association with Vishnudutta, he became fortunate. But even in case of Prabhupada, we see so many people came in touch with him and had his association, but we did not see like any apparently any, we did not see any apparent transformation in their hearts. So what different it was like?
Who? Hmm. So it's not automatic. There are so many factors connected. Ajamila was cultured and trained person as a Brahmana. He was not a sinful person. He has having a very good background. First. Second, his fall down was accidental fall down because of the bad association. Second. Third, he was chanting the name of the Lord unknowingly. And Prabhupada says also knowingly. When he was chanting unknowingly, he remembered his Narayan Sila. He remembered Krishna directly and indirectly. And because of that, Vishnudutas came because he chanted the holy name of the Lord. And because of the association of Vishnudutas, he became very serious in Krishna consciousness. Then he started practicing Krishna consciousness and he got perfection. This is the journey of Ajamila. So it can happen to anybody. So what's your confusion? It's not that anybody will get in touch with pure devotee, he will become pure devotee. If he hears and practices that, then he will become transformed. That is his individual choice. Just like Krishna spoke Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna, then he said, whatever you like to do, you do. When Arjuna chose that I want to follow you, then he became Arjuna. It's our individual choice also. It's not that it's automatic. So Krishna appeared. So Pandavas also saw Krishna. Kauravas also saw Krishna. Why Kauravas did not become devotee? It's not like that. Individual choice is there, no? Jagai Madai. Okay? Or to talk about Prabhupada's one family members did not become, people say, why his family? They're all individual. So it's like that. Okay?
Hare Krishna Maharaj. Devotees should engage in devotional service always. Here it is said, go to Dham and chant and eat and live to go back to Godhead. Can you please explain?
Prabhupada has already explained. It's a very complicated explanation because our mind is complicated. We think it's really simple like that. That's why Prabhupada said, who should go to Mayapur? Who wants to experience love of God? And how? By chanting of the holy name and honoring Krishna Prasad. And take bath in the Ganges. That's what Dhruva Maharaj did. That's what our Acharyas did. That is the purpose of going to Dham, not, oh, I have a house. I stay in Dham. By building a house, you cannot stay in Dham. How you can stay in Dham? When you constantly chant the holy name and become Krishna conscious. That is Dhambas. And that opportunity is given. Prabhupada is telling, ISKCON is offering that opportunity. So we have centers in Vrindavan and Mayapur. He said Navadip. Yes. Prabhupada said engagement, prime engagement is chanting of the holy name. Because he's talking about Ajamila. Right? the prime engagement of devotional service, especially at the advanced stage, is chanting and hearing about the Lord. Okay, it needs further explanation.
One more question.
Satisfied who asked the question?
Last, second question.
Hmm.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, thank you for the wonderful class. Can you please tell how to be steady in detachment?
Steady in detachment. Very interesting. When you become unsteady in attachment, then you can become steady in detachment. So steadiness comes when we do anartha nivriti. When we go beyond the anartha nivriti level, then we become steady. So as long as anarthas are there inside, we cannot be steady. So next question should be how to get rid of anartha. Ado Shraddha, Sadhu Sangha, Bhajana Kriya. You should have Shraddha, and with that Shraddha, if you are in the association of devotees and practice sadhana bhakti very sincerely, then we can be free from anarthas. And when we are free from anarthas, we become steady. Okay? One more question. Okay.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, being sadhakas, do we have a hope that Vishnu Dutas might come for us?
Yeah, very. Why Vishnu Dutas? He likes Vishnu Dutas. So Ajamila's time, Vishnu Dutas came. Why? Because Jamadutas are there. So who can handle Jamadutas? Vishnu Dutas. So we should make sure that Jamadutas don't come in our life. So whoever chants the holy name of the Lord, Jamadutas will not come. So sadhakas, there is no fear of Jamadutas. But there is a fear that we may not achieve the perfection. So Vishnudutas came twice. One to give the process of sadhana bhakti, and second time they came to take home back to Godhead. So what he wants? What purpose? So he wants to go through the process what Rajamila went through, or he wants to see Vishnudutas to go back home back to Godhead. So if you want to see Vishnudutas to come and take home back to Godhead, then sadhaka cannot see that. Sadhaka cannot see Vishnudutas. Only Siddhas can see Vishnudutas to take home back to Godhead. So we pray so that sadhaka becomes Siddhas. Any other question? Okay then. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Samveta Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna. We had the whole Ajamila Upakhyaana, the last 5 days we had. And again in the Sunday, we'll be having the Association of Maharaj in the Sunday feast program in the morning. Let us express our gratitude by chanting Hare Krishna mantra once. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Thank you, Maharaj.
Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Tomorrow's Nityam Bhagatasya will be at 7:15, our usual time. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, devotees. I'll end the session now. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyascha patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavibhyo namo namaha. Ananta koti Vaishnav